two string, okay? This is get text. EX, okay, get text and two strings, okay? So now we're gonna go for the else part of this. Well, this should be here. If it is, okay. Public void. If it is, then do this and do that. Okay. Good. Now else. I need to delete the book. Can I delete the here? Right? You're done. But later on we need to come back to this. But
Does
you have
anybody
to
else
do
need
it,
it?
right? Okay.
Yell if you need it.
Okay. Now. I close the brace over there, so I'm going to put now else here, okay? Else. Create intent. Intent I equal. Intent. We need to have context. Get activity dot get application context. Application context. This texture of the context, and now I need to call another Java program to display my text view, okay? I have not made that Java program, I'm gonna make it for you. So let's put the name of the Java program here. Okay, the name of our Java program, in this case, what do you want to call it?
Frag 2 activity.
Let's put it just, what names should I select?
Frag 2.
Show item activity. I'm gonna call it show item activity dot job. Okay, because this shows the item. Okay, let's do this way. Show item activity dot class. You know that this should be a class file. Okay, so this creates a new intent, right? It means you're calling that program, and now we need to transfer data to that program, right? Because it's another program, right? Okay, so you're going to use I dot put extra item, comma. Now you're going to get that. The same as over there, but I'll repeat again. Text view, text view, and get text. Convert it to string dot to string. And price. Okay. This part is also taken care. I think we have done our set. We've done on item click. So when you click it, either this or that. Okay. So let's close that guy. We're gonna. Oh no. I forgot something. When you are using this, Nothing goes there now. Nothing goes there. I missed the one instruction.
Again,
And
this
that
starts
is,
the new
I need to put, what is that? Start activity.
Start activity, yeah.
Activity is not
Start
started
activities,
yet.
set activity.
Okay.
I'll
Start
put it down there, not up there.
activity. Okay, activity started, and we already sent that over there. So I'm gonna close this guy. We don't have this one. We need to close this guy. Okay, which is we need to close a parenthesis and put semicolon there, right? And finally, since we are inside on create view, all of these are taking place inside on create view, we need to return what?
V.
View, and I'm going to return view. This key question I'm going to answer a question a little bit later if it is possible, okay? And I'm going to close this guy and close. Okay, everything is closed, okay? Yes?
We're not going to check if the TV has actually started. Like, if I.get_extras is not able to know.
Why not?
Well, previously you said that we always have to check because it might not have started. But we have to check for it before we started.
Well, when I write the rest of the code, you're gonna find out. You are a little bit jumping into it. You're gonna find out. You see the whole picture now, okay? Okay. Now, this was called frag1 activity, right? The first fragment. Now I'm gonna write another fragment, and after I'm gonna write the whole program, and after I'm gonna hook them up together and see, you see the whole picture, right? Okay. Okay, this part is done. Don't jump to conclusion until I write the whole thing for you, okay? I just go very slowly and try to explain to you step by step, okay? What does fragment 2.java do?
It's gonna show the fragment.
For
Oh, it's the text.
fragment, yeah. Should do what?
Show fragment, right?
Okay, let's do it this way. Let's do that, okay? We just made one Java program so far. Okay, let's go for the second fragment. This is fragment 1, we made, right? So, see how the next fragment is going to work, okay? These are separate fragments, by the way. You could put them into any Java program or application which you want, okay? Make your own activity and put them, right? These are like different pieces of something, right? So you could put them into your Java program. Public. Class. Frag2 activity. Again, the same problem of the name. Frag2 activity, I don't know what to call it. Frag2 activity. Extend. Fragment. Okay. We need to overwrite on create view at override public view on create view. Layout inflator. Li, comma view group vg and bundle b. And I'm going to put bundle b return li dot inflate dot layout dot frag 2 comma vg comma false. And as you see, that is pretty simple. What does frag2 fragment does? What does it do? This fragment. Display what?
Display
The text view.
The text view.
Exactly. It's display text view, right? So in order to display text view, we need to have a view that we're getting at, right? And it displays the text view. If you are in a dot, what it does, always go to the layout file, XML file that I made, and if you look at the XML file, you see it's nothing but a simple text view, right? Okay? This one was more complicated because it was taking care of the list view, right? And this view has activity or action or something, right? But this one is a text view. Text view doesn't have any action. It's just very simple, that's what it does. Okay? We need a program to do that on create bundle. It's pretty simple. Okay? Super. Dot on create here. Okay. Now we need to make a big decision. Okay? Now look at the decision here. I'm gonna check if we are in landscape, job is already done. But if we are in portrait, we need to get data. Because in landscape, data is available. We don't need to, there is no intent, right? In landscape, there is no intent. So data is available. When we are in a portrait, we have two programs. One is your list view, the other one is what?
Text
Your text view. And list view sends data to the text view, right? So we need to check here that where are we? Are we in a landscape mode or we are in a portrait? If it is landscape, bye-bye. Job is done. Okay? Otherwise, continue. Follow me? Let's see how I'm going to do that. If landscape, I assume that we have made a landscape method. I already wrote it for you a couple of lectures ago. Do you remember that? So if it is landscape, parenthesis, okay, if landscape, then since there is no room here, I'm going to put everything right after this bracket, command line. I cd to the location location that I have installed Android SDK, which I installed it in user local. And after that, we need to and there is a folder over there that the name of the folder is layout.
Okay.
If you go to layout, you see all of them are available. It's a very long list, okay? It has a listing of all of these pre-made IDs.
Okay.
We call it pre-made IDs. So this is in the layout, okay?
Under the SDK.
Yes, inside the SDK folder, okay? How I found it, long time ago, 6 or 7 years ago, when I was trying to find about what it is, I used the find command in
Linux.
shell.
And they're just
Used
XML.
to find and I found one of them, right? And it showed me exactly where it is.
And they're just XML files.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and these are all XML files.
Yeah.
Okay, they're all different XML files. Okay, continue guys. I hope you're not tired. I'm writing everything. I'm using a lot of energy here. Okay, you just need to relax. Okay, let's continue for this guy. Done. Okay, thank you.
View on create view.
This is not very good quality of. It's really hard to clean it. Look at that.
It's the color, some certain colors are harder than others to erase.
Yes.
It's the color. Green and blue are hard to
Yeah.
erase.
Okay, I'm gonna check into that. Okay. Acceptable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's change it. Let's change to blue or black or something. Okay. So, where are we now? We are in a portrait mode, okay? So, I don't need to use else because I already finished an return. So, right on the list of it, we're gonna take care of this. Set content view r dot layout dot frag2. What is frag2?
Shows the text.
So I have the text view.
Sorry that I'm asking you because I want to make sure that you are with me, okay? It's a little late at night and some of us need. Okay, now we are in portrait mode. Data is always sent to us, right? We need to get that data and do something with it, right? Okay. Bundle. Extra. You know what I call extras? Because we have bundle view over there, so I didn't want to leave it.
Use intent.
What?
You did intent to press the dot, not bundle. So does the bundle get the intent data too?
Well, intent send data.
Okay.
This intent called what? Called show item active. Called this program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. This program. Now here we need to find out if we are in landscape or if we are in the portrait. If landscape.
Well, my question is because I just used to do the intent get extras. I never use bundle to get the extra from the intent. I didn't know it works.
It works.
Okay.
Yeah. Type it as it is, I guarantee that. Okay? You know how many times I have tested this program? Believe it works. But it's okay. So you're talking about this is a reserved word?
No, because I know if you send bundle to bundle, it works if it works, but I didn't know like from intent to the bundle.
It's gonna work, definitely.
Yeah, I didn't know
Definitely,
that.
try it. Okay? Bundle erase extras equal get intent dot get extras, okay? And let's check if you have a data. If extras not null, data is available. Now let's get the data. Strength, selected item, equal the extras dot get string parenthesis item. Let's get it and display it. Text view and display that, right? The text view TV equal casted text view find view by ID parenthesis or dot ID dot selected opt, right? You remember selected opt? Selected opt. So we got that. And let's display it. TV dot set text. You have selected plus selected item. Selected item. And close this guy, and close this guy, and close this guy.
I'm sorry, what's the difference between the bundle and onCreate and this bundle?
This bundle?
Yes, and this bundle.
Well, this bundle is not carrying the items that are created by extra method, like put extra.
Ah,
If you print that, it's going to be empty, okay?
huh.
Yes.
So I guess the B bundle is built by the system and can't be changed by us. And the intent
This is for,
is, and the intent is where you put any customization
Yes.
or additional data.
just any customized data
Okay.
that we are using should be sent by put extra and should receive by get extra and get extra, okay? Bundle is made, if you look at it, bundle, the bundle class, I like that question. Bundle class is one of the classes of the operating system, android.os.bundle, if you look at the import, okay? And this is made for bringing the system-related information into our program, okay?
Okay.
System-related information. For example, system is a little bit later in this course. I'm going to talk about broadcasting. Okay, when system is broadcasting some data, you could get that broadcasting information through that bundle. Okay, for example, system says the battery level is low and now is, for example, 15 volt or 10 volt or something. It gives you the how much battery we have. This information could be received from this bundle, okay? Because it's sent by the system's broadcasting system, right? So soon I'm going to get into this subject and talking to you about how systems are receiving, how activities are receiving data that is broadcasted by the system, right?
Cool.
Following, and we're going to go back to this subject. Okay? Thank you. You are asking a very good question. I really enjoy that. Very good question. Guys, whenever I'm writing any code, if any part is not clear for you, just let me know. I'm going to explain to you. Of course, my explanation is based on whatever you have learned so far. I cannot just go ahead, right? For example, I said this relates to what? When system is sending you data, but maybe some of you are asking yourself, how system could send data? You're going to learn about how system can send data. Okay, so we have about 40 minutes to go. Okay, so let's see, we finished this guy. Now, we get into, this doesn't work if you do not add this line of information into your manifest file. Manifest file has no information about what that activity is, okay? So add this information to your manifest. Let me show you how to add it, okay? So go to your manifest file and add this line. I'm adding right over here, but you need to put it into your manifest. You know what I'm talking about manifest, okay?
Mhm.
Android manifest.xml. Activity, Android, name equal dot show item activity the Android label, Android label equals at string app underscore name, app name. This is the system string that is available in all Android versions. App name and so add this line to your
Manifest. Manifest.
Manifest.
Manifest.
manifest. I'm thinking about where to your manifest file. You could put it right before closing the activity. It means right after that you see a line that says activity. It says activity. Okay? Because whenever I tell my student that put it in a manifest file, they send me email where in the manifest file. Okay? So this ends. This closes your manifest. Okay? So right before the last line, just put it there. Okay? Okay. So this is there now. Now we get into another Java code. And this is the last Java code, and which is the
Main.
heaviest one. It's the main Java code, okay? Okay. So I'm making the book. Do you take notes? Can I read the book? Okay. Okay. Look at this, see how this one is good. This is heavy Java, okay? Okay. So public fragment code app. I don't know what you call it. They call it fragment. Fragment code app for application activity. Okay. Extend activity. Okay. Private. Static. Final. String. Frag1 equal, let's say, 1 and private, static, final, string, frag2 equal 2. These are tags that we are using. You're going to see a little bit later how I'm going to use that, okay? The tag that we are using, yes.
If these are private, then they're not going to be visible to any other classes, right? Okay, over there in the code that you've written on the rightmost board, it says find fragment tag frag2. but frag2 won't be that's.
So what you're suggesting is making that public? Because we're gonna put them in the same package.
Would that make that accessible to everything in the package? Yeah, okay, that's what I was unsure of.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is okay? Default is public. Okay. But see how I'm gonna use it. Okay, leave it later in the code. Okay. Now we need to create the very first thing on create. Okay. So at override public void on create bundle B super dot on create B set content view r dot layout dot, we call it main, right? Main dot, do you remember the one that had three
Main.
linear layout? We call it main, right? Okay. Okay, this is one. And now we need to take care of the fragment manager. Fragment. Manager FM equal get fragment manager. Okay, create the object of the fragment manager, and now we need to make fragment transaction object, because we were about to add and remove fragments, right? And the job of the fragment transaction class is adding and removing or replacing. And you see how I'm going to do that. Fragment transaction FT fragment transaction equal FM dot begin transaction. Transaction. Okay. Okay. So we create the object of begin transaction. Now, this is the main, right? This has to know if we are in a landscape or if we are in a portrait. Right? This is the main, right? Okay, let's take care of it. If landscape, if you're in landscape, what should we do in landscape, guys? In landscape, two fragments should be together, right? That's what we're going to take care of right over there. In the landscape, two fragments, right? Okay. Right. So we need to add the two fragments to our view, right? You remember we already made our view in our main, which was linear, right? I said we are using them as the placeholder. When we were doing that statically, we use what? Fragment inside our XML, right? But I didn't put fragment. I put what? Just a placeholder. Here, dynamically, I'm going to add them. Okay, using the fragment transaction object. See what I'm going to do. Okay. So we assume that landscape method is available. If it is, the ft dot add r dot id dot frag1. Frag1 was in charge of having list view. You remember that? Okay. So, comma, new. This is the ID for, okay. New. Frag1. Activity, comma, fragment. Okay. Yes.
Is that ID, r.id.frag1, shouldn't that be the ID of the placeholder?
The ID of the placeholder.
Okay,
Yes.
it was defined as fragment1 in the XML. Yeah.
And this is the name of our Java code.
No, what he said, the ID for
You can call it-
the ID for the placeholder is fragment one, not
Oh,
flag
I'm
one.
sorry, it was called fragment one.
Fragment one,
for
yeah.
the ID for the.
Yeah, it's called
My
fragment1
apologies.
still
Fragment
now.
one,
Yes, yes, my mistake. I remember we called it fragment one and fragment two, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies. Okay? I now remember that. Fragment one. Fragment one, and you guys know what it is, right? You guys know what it is. Frag1 activity. What is Frag1 activity? This was a program that they wrote over there and continued, still part of it is here, right? Okay? You remember Frag1 activity? Okay? And we are passing this tag to that Java program, right? We are passing this tag to that Java program, okay? Now, since it's a landscape, we have room for
Two.
another add. Let's go for another add. ft dot add r dot id dot, we call it fragment two. Am I right? Fragment two. Comma, and name of the second Java program that we made, which was called, we call it frag2 activity. Do you remember? Frag1 activity, frag2 activity. So frag2 activity. Frag2 activity was this, that we checked it. If it is, if it is a landscape, job is done. If it is portrait, we need to do something, okay? Frag2 activity, followed by frag2, okay? If guys, you look at this code carefully and analyze it, you see this is really a lot of details involved, right? Okay? So, this takes care of if you are in a landscape. But if it is not a landscape, yes?
Sorry, I don't, the second line should have frag2 at the end.
Frag2 flag.
Frag2,
Should it have the word new in there?
yes. Thank you. This is a type.
As long as we're doing that, should it have the word new in there, like line above it?
Oh, yeah. New
And you have to have new here, right?
Yeah.
Because we need to create an object of that, right?
Yep,
So,
we're understanding what you
I'm gonna
mean.
put new. So let's-
We got it, no
let's-
worries.
Let's write this one.
We got it. Just leave like
Don't sweat
that.
it.
We got it.
Oh.
It's ugly, guys, you know, I know some of
They told
you
us not to
sent-
bug you.
Okay, new, let's do this.
You've taught us so
New,
much.
Frag, I'm gonna make it a little smaller, frag2 activity, right?
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, when I'm close to the board, I don't see what I'm putting. Okay, this is okay now, and now, okay. So, else part of this is means what?
Portrait.
You know,
Portrait.
So I need to, you know, can I continue? You have to put them in,
A little bit more.
Can continue.
Can you just ask the other way around? Anybody else new?
Okay. Otherwise, we are in portrait.
Oh, I just brought up a whole new activity. Let's see what I did.
Now, see what we need to do in portrait, okay? I don't tell you what I'm doing, just try to guess, okay? So, if fragment manager fm dot find fragment
Should I get a context?
by tag frag2 not equal null, that means I don't say anything, just guess what I'm doing, okay? If it is not null, then t dot remove fm dot find fragment by tag, find fragment by tag and frag1. Okay. And after that, add t. So this is under this if statement, but right up here, I'm going to put t dot add r dot id dot frag1 comma new frag1 activity comma frag1. This is done and commit. Okay,
Is that
commit.
okay?
If you don't commit, nothing is going to happen, and close our method and close our class. Pay attention to the else part. Analyze it, say why Amos is doing that.
They're just supposed to be fragment one, right? Not frag.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just make
Thank
sure.
you. Fragment one. Fragment one, yes.
In the line above it, shouldn't that be ft dot remove fm dot find fragment by tag frag2?
Because
That's why you actually comment this line out, just comment that if statement, because these are together, okay? This is one if statement. Comment that line out. For the first time when you are running the application, no problem.
It's fine,
When you do it
When you turn it again.
one more time, you see, it's gonna stop. Okay? And you're gonna send email to me and say, Abbas, this is crash. What should I do? And my suggestion is take a slide on it. No, I already did that for you. But again, really think about this and see how important, why we are doing that. Let me see if I have left anything from this subject. I think I gave you pretty much every move, right? It's very nice. Making placeholder and add as many fragments as you want, right? It's really not. If you really want to learn, you did your homework assignment, right? Using, I think, majority of you did it statically, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, if you want to learn, just convert it to dynamic. See how dynamically you're able to do that. I have put it most of the stuff on the board for you. If you still have a problem, let me know. I'm going to help you for it. Okay? It's very, very interesting. There are, by the way, there are several approaches to transfer data from your activity to your fragment, from your fragment to your activity, from fragment to fragment, okay? So there are several approaches. I think during break I was talking to you about the approach, right? There are a couple of callbacks in fragment. One is called get saved state, get saved state, get saved state. This is one of the callbacks of belong to set, belong to fragment, and the other one is set. Call this to save your data, and in the other fragment you're going to do what? Get saves it to get it back. Okay. Send data, receive data. This is another way that you could do that. Yes.
So where are we gonna get the data? In which callback? On the touch or on create view or which?
Create view.
Create view.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not very happy about this discussion. You know why? Because my style of teaching is I give everything. So this is a very superficial discussion. So if you guys wanted to learn again, maybe in one of the lectures, maybe next time or something, I'm gonna give you some pretty small program to show you how you could use save state and get state and save state to send and receive data between your fragments. So you could, I didn't use them in this example, right? I used bundle. But you could use this, okay? This is a very good idea too.
One thing that I noticed when I was doing this was when I had it in portrait view and I turned it and I selected the price or something and it displayed it in the second activity.
Yes.
And then I turned it to landscape view and
You
it
lost
displayed lost it.
Exactly like yours. Am
And
I
I
right?
tried using on-saved instant state.
You
That's
need
what I
to use
did.
this, yes. I told him to do that, right?
Well, there must be a callback that you can put that into, right?
Automatically, well, I'm gonna show you next week
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you don't mind, okay? Because
So I couldn't get it to work right.
But between now and next week, if you really want, we need to concentrate on these two because the solution is behind these. Okay, how to save, how to send the data using get saved state and set saved state. I'm gonna write a code for you guys next time. Is it okay?
Yes.
So I owe you that, right? The way that it goes, the subject of fragment would be more than a couple of lectures, but I have no problem with that. Yes.
I was reading on Google to say that I think it was on Google site say the fragment should not communicate directly to another fragment. Is that right? Or
If the fragment is not communicated with,
no, the fragment you should not communicate directly to another fragment. You have to communicate through activity, and then activity communicate to the fragment.
The model view, the model view.
Is that right?
no, whatever internet says is not really correct. You know, believe it, sometimes some kids are writing some blog or something, you know, when you read that, and nothing is working. You know what I'm talking about? So you put a question on internet, hundreds of responses come to you, but you see,
Group, for it, a search for
the
the.
Google group, I believe Greg made it and the.
What's that? Yeah, we put it on the board, and I searched for it in
last
Google
time.
Groups, I couldn't find
You
anything
can't. It's
under
not-
CC.
It's not public. You have to use that URL I gave you.
okay? I used the URL and I couldn't find it, and I searched for it and I couldn't find anything
it's
under
not
CCA.
public.
It's not public and it's not listed as, it's not listed as a CCSF.
It's not
Google.
listed, you can't search for the group. It's not a
Okay.
public group.
So anyway, if you could give me another copy
But I
of,
think last week before I came in.
yeah, we wrote it down, and I wrote it on, I copied it the week before also, and neither one of them brings up the group for me.
Only
It had a question mark and a pound sign in it, and those aren't, wasn't a proper URL. So did anybody else was anybody else able to get into the group that they're talking about?
One person joined or something.
Okay, so,
Yes, I was.
yeah, I know, I wanted to find some help, so,
I think you were doing that.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
okay,
Only
so
a
you're able to
couple
find it?
people joined
Okay,
this week.
Guys,
maybe I'll give you my email
would you
address,
let
if you
me
could pass me the
finish
link,
the
it'd be
subject
really great.
tonight, and after that we
That'd
talk
be
about
cool.
the other subject, okay? If you remember, we are still in the subject of animation, and you're doing the homework assignment. Some of you are yawning, it means giving me a signal not to continue. But one important subject about fragment is left, and that is twinning, right? Which we started talking about it, okay? And if you remember, I discussed about alpha.
So on Android,